As you board, please move across your car to make room for everyone, and kindly offer available seating to those needing special assistance. If you're standing, please hold on to the handrails and stay clear of the doors. They will be closing in a moment. Thank you.
Hey, howdy, hey, and welcome to another episode of Disney Assembled. I'm Troy.
And I'm Mimi.
And we are your happy little father-daughter podcast, here to create joy and share our love for all things Disney.
Disney Assembled is sponsored by our patrons over on Patreon, Brenda, Danny, Connie, and Andrew.
Yes, thank you very much. If you would like to join them and become part of our Patreon family, head on over to DisneyAssembled.com and click on the Become a Patron button. Or you can go to patreon.com and do a search for Disney Assembled. Membership starts as little as $2 a month. And with that, you get access to all of the exclusive member-only content that we have put over there. However, if you are looking to add even more Disney magic to your day, head on over to Magic of the Mouse Radio. Magic of the Mouse Radio is the best online radio station for all your Disney music. It is available 24/7, 365. You can go to it by just going to magicofthemouseradio.com, or you can go to our website and click on the Magic of the Mouse Radio icon there. You can hear our show on Magic of the Mouse Radio every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern.
In addition to the Magic the Mouse Radio family, I am so proud to be a part of the Magic the Mouse News family. MagicoftheMouseNews.com has articles for anything and everything you might want to read that's Disney related. So make sure to go check it out at MagicoftheMouseNews.com.
All right, very good. So we are recording this episode on Saturday, September the 9th. It is about just shy of 10:20 a.m. Disney Assembled headquarters time, which is Central Daylight Time, which means about an hour ago, Josh D'Amaro finished his presentation for Destination D23. And of course, that would be the only reason some of you may not have been listening to Magic of the Mouse Radio at 9 a.m. Eastern is because Mr. D'Amaro did his presentation. So we assume that if you weren't listening to us on Magic of the Mouse Radio at that time today, we will assume that you were possibly watching the live stream on D23's YouTube channel of Josh's presentation. Or maybe you were at D23 yourself, Destination D23 yourself. So congratulations if you were there. But I did not get to watch it. I was actually working this morning. I couldn't get a chance to watch it. But Mimi, who also she wasn't watching the live feed, but she was keeping track of the news that was coming through because she was busy doing some other stuff as well. And but I have no idea what Josh brought to D23, Destination D23 this year, but you do, right?
Right. So Papa is going to be genuinely blind reacting to the information dropped about the Disney parks at Destination D23 this morning.
Right. So you're going to present to me, that's the content of this episode, right?
Right.
And this episode, normally our episodes are released Sunday nights at 7 p.m. Disney Assembled time, Central Daylight Time. But because of the nature of this particular event, we're going to release this episode. We're releasing this episode early on Saturday. So right after we record this, we're going to quickly edit it, get it out on our podcast feeds so that you can hear my reaction to the news that Mimi is sharing with me. As soon as possible. We thought it would be nice to get that out there a little bit early. It's a nice treat. I don't think we've ever done an early release episode.
I don't think so.
So we're doing early release. And if I remember correctly, it was about a year ago when D23 came.
Yes.
And I did do a live reaction. I actually did a video of that. So if you go to our YouTube channel, you can do my live reaction because I videoed my reaction to all of Josh's stuff.
That was an underwhelming D23.
Right. I remember it was all the blue skies. And I think we did an episode where we introduced one of our characters. We haven't revisited, Mr. Blue Sky.
Oh, yeah.
And Mr. Blue Sky, he came, he did the blues. He sang the blues and he did the announcements. He talked about the Blue Sky projects. I have no idea whether Josh talked about Blue Sky projects this year, but that was a year ago. It's amazing. That was almost a full year ago we had that episode.
Yeah.
We should also mention...
That was a disappointing D23, I will say.
Well...
This episode only is going to cover the Josh D'Amaro Parks presentation. I know that there's an Epcot specific presentation later in this day. There's going to be a Marvel presentation. So I'm sure a whole bunch of other things are going to be announced then. But this is exclusively Disney Parks, Josh D'Amaro, what's going on. So
we have to do that. We have to do our Disney Dad Joke of the Week. And I should also mention that, and I was going to say something about this last year, counting our episodes forward, sort of a tangential, get off on a tangent a little bit here. We are at episode like 187, I think. I think this is maybe episode 187, 188, somewhere in that range. I think it's 187. But I did some math recently, and it appears that if we stick to our schedule, which we've done a pretty good job of, we should be hitting episode 200 of Disney Assembled right around Sunday, December the 10th of this year, which would be right after my birthday. So if you're listening, be prepared, because we have to plan something pretty special, not just because it's my birthday, but it'll be our 200th episode, and it'll be sort of my birthday episode all around the same time. So stay tuned. We have to come up with some ideas for that. And we would possibly need some of you listeners to get involved in our 200th episode special. So we'll work on that. We'll get some information out to you as soon as possible. But we do have a main topic of the week. It is my reaction to the news that you're going to share with me about what Josh said. But are you ready to do that? Okay. But before we do that, I think we do need to have this week's Disney Dad Joke of the Week. Are you ready for it?
Yes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for this week's Disney Dad Joke of the Week. Boy. Mimi.
Yes.
I did not see Josh's presentation, obviously, but I did hear a rumor that, because he practices these things, right? He has to practice. There was a piece that he was going to talk about today that he got cut from the presentation because during practice there was problems, right? So one of the things he was supposed to announce was that Disney World in Florida was no longer going to be serving fruit at any of the restaurants anywhere.
What?
Yeah, he was supposed to make that announcement. They would make a big announcement about no more fruit at Disney World. But every time he went to go practice that piece, his voice locked up. He couldn't talk. Okay. Apparently that news left him peachless.
Okay. That one's good.
Get it?
Yes.
So that's kind of fake news, but we thought it was kind of humorous. Ladies and gentlemen, that is this week's Disney Dad Joke of the Week. If you have a joke of the dad variety that is Disney related that you think would be nice for us to use on the show, please feel free to reach out to us. Send us an email, disneyassembled@gmail.com, or you can send us a direct message, a DM, as the kids say, on the TikToks, the Facebooks, the Instagrams,
and the Twitters,
which
the X's.
Some people are now starting to call it the X. I don't know. It could be our X platform, because I'm seriously considering dropping it. But
okay, we've been saying this for weeks. Yeah. I'm really excited to tell you about what's going on. So
let's do that. Let's get into the news. Get my reaction after hearing it for the very first time. Okay, go.
So at the very end of Josh's presentation, he brings out a friend. A really special friend.
I know Josh had friends.
We know him very well, and we love him very well. Figment.
I wasn't there. How can you bring me out?
The purple dinosaur.
Figment. Okay.
So
we're good friends with Figment too.
At D23 a year ago, Josh announced that Figment will be making his Epcot debut once again at undisclosed time, right? Like Figment's coming back, we just don't know when.
Right.
So it is been released that Figment will be meeting guests inside the Imagination Pavilion at Epcot beginning tomorrow.
On the 10th of September. 10th. Wow, that's pretty cool. So how did they find a cast member that small? Because Figment's a tiny little thing.
He's massive. He's like a 6-foot rendition of Figment. And he doesn't really have, he does have wings.
So is there a picture of it?
Yeah, there's there's a little video. Let me pull it up. There's a little video.
Oh, okay. I see it now. I see.
So he's pretty big.
So I'm going to tell you something. That is a very good looking Figment. The proportions it's actually very, very well done. I like that costume.
It does look exactly like how Figment looks in the
Now they're going to have to explain why the tiny purple dragon is now so big.
Right.
Can I make a prediction on maybe a story that they can use for that? Mm-hmm. I guess there's really no reason for that, because
the kids aren't really.
All of the characters are tiny. Like Mickey Mouse is tiny, but he's human size, right? Basically.
I mean, the question. I mean, You could apply that also to like the Bolt character. Like, why is he walking on two legs?
That's true.
You know, you
So I'm not too
could
worried
apply
about
that to the fairies.
But you could say that as our imagination grows, Figment grows because he's a figment of our imagination.
Okay.
That would be kind of a cool story, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I like that. So should I say whether I think that's news or snooze? Can we flip the script today?
Yes, flip the script.
I think that's news. I know even though we knew it was coming, we haven't seen anything. And the fact that we see it, and I think it's really good. It's a very good looking Figment. It looks exactly like Figment if Figment was big. I know for some tiny kids, it might be a little frightening, but then again, a lot of the Disney characters that you meet in the parks can be frightening to kids. Right. But I think this is a good one. I think this is news. I love it.
Okay,
Thank you.
Cool. So I'm kind of jumping between my camera roll because I took screenshots of the Instagram story, and then I'm jumping back onto the actual Instagram feed because not everything that's on the story is on the feed, and I want to make sure we get everything. So I'm just going to go through what I have from the Instagram story, the Disney Parks Instagram story. So it was announced that Josh didn't necessarily talk about blue sky ideas. Especially considering the blue sky idea concept was created for Magic Kingdom. But do you remember how last year he kind of vaguely was like, we're kind of thinking about Animal Kingdom, but not really, you know?
He showed some very basic.
So, we got a little bit more detail into that, and it says new experiences inspired by Encanto and the fan favorite adventurer Indiana Jones are being considered for the reimagined land at Disney's Animal Kingdom. So I don't know, reimagined land to me sounds like we are getting rid of Dino Land and replacing it with Encanto or Indiana Jones.
So did they talk about? Can you give me some more information about that? I mean, did they show where this stuff might be? Was there any pictures or do you know?
There's this rendition. Here, let me show you. Look.
All right. I'm looking at it right now.
So I can't exactly figure out what is going on. Like here's, here would be the casa, and then here's, like a temple, the Indiana Jones thing. I don't know what this is. Like it's just kind of a picture of
let's
what the world would look like, but not where it fits into Animal Kingdom.
And if you're listening, you may know because you were there at the thing if you were there, but let's assume it's in that Dino Land sort of area. So he's talking about new details. And what was it again? Tell me again.
So the two new experiences inspired by Encanto or Indiana Jones are being considered.
And Indiana Jones.
And Indiana Jones.
Okay.
So we might be getting two attractions. Like it's unclear to me if it's going to be two attractions, like two experiences, or if it's going to be in one land themed to Encanto or Indiana Jones.
All right. So it sounds like they just took what they talked about last year with Encanto and Moana, and they replaced Moana with Indiana Jones. That's what it sounds like.
Yes, but this feels more definitive.
Well, it makes sense because Indiana Jones and Encanto, I mean, they both can have adventures in a jungle, right? In the South American jungle area. That would make sense for Indiana Jones to be there. I think
Indiana Jones fits better than Encanto does.
Well, even if they put Encanto in, the transition to Indiana Jones is pretty smooth because it's the same basic topography that you could use, even though it's a different theming. And I like that better than Moana at Animal Kingdom since they have the Moana thing at Epcot now. So I'm all for it. Listen, I think that I don't have a problem with Dinosaur to Ride. It's not the best thing in the world. It's not something I ever care about doing or not doing. But the rest of Dino Land, and again, I'm an adult, for little kids who want to explore. I mean, it's one thing. But I think if they chose, and this sounds like more blue sky stuff to me because it doesn't sound like there's an announcement that this is coming. If they chose to go Encanto, Indiana Jones in that area, I'm all for it. There is not, other than Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular, there is no real Indiana Jones stuff at Disney World. And we do know that the Indiana Jones ride in Disneyland is basically the same ride track. It is the same ride track as Dinosaur. So if they just simply took the Dinosaur ride and made it an Indiana Jones ride, and then took all the other stuff out and made it Encanto, I think that would be a cost-effective and upgrade to what's existing there. So I'm all for that. So news or snooze, I'm going to call that news.
I think it's news also because although we got an announcement similar to this one last year, this is more definitive. This is more, here's an actual drawing. Here's what we're genuinely talking about. This is more like detailed, right?
Right.
It's still vague. Okay, so next from the Disney Parks Instagram, just announced another Animal Kingdom announcement. A new show based on the Zootopia movie is being created for the Tree of Life Theater at Disney's Animal Kingdom.
All right. So right now it's tough to be a bug. And they're saying that they're looking at adding a Zootopia themed movie attraction in there. Yes. I'm all for that. I don't like the bug. It's a Bug's Life ride
is so
thing.
Frustrating and scary.
And I like Zootopia. I think Zootopia is fun. It's brighter. I think I do like the Zootopia idea of adding Zootopia as part of it. Look, Animal Kingdom is it's going through an evolution. Originally, they didn't want this kind of IP stuff in there because the theme was different, the purpose was different, but so was Epcot's. Epcot's purpose was very different when it started, and it has evolved over the years. I have no problem with Animal Kingdom evolving. I'm not an Animal Kingdom purist. Mm-hmm. I think it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be for children and adults alike. And if what children and adults want are these IPs that are more current and more engaging in the parks, I'm all for it. So to me, if you chose to put a Zootopia theater experience in place of it's tough to be a bug, then I'm all for it. That's news for me. That's news or snooze. Yeah. That's news.
I also wouldn't hate if they took that area in Animal Kingdom, or like took like that sort of smaller area around the theater and made it Zootopia themed. Does that make sense? So you're not just dumped into a theater and here's Zootopia.
I'll also say that of the two things you just mentioned, these last two announcements, those things make me more excited to go to Animal Kingdom.
Yes.
And so in my book, those are good announcements.
That's a win.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Talking about Animal Kingdom, like it's the idea of like any press is good press, right? Any Animal Kingdom knowledge, any Animal Kingdom announcement is a good Animal Kingdom.
Right. Because I don't want to see It's Tough to Be a Bug. I would go see the Zootopia movie.
Agree.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to skip this next one because it's my favorite and the most exciting announcement.
So we're going to wait till last.
Yes. Okay. And you're going to be very excited about it too. Okay. So this one we kind of already knew, but just announced Journey of Water inspired by Moana will open October 16th. Moana will also arrive in World Nature on this day and make her first appearance in her own dedicated space at Epcot in Walt Disney World.
I think this is fantastic. Listen, I know a lot of people are sort of like, Moana doesn't belong in Epcot, but look, they have World of Nature there.
I think she does fit in World of Nature. Now that I think about it.
Moana is a good property. It's very popular. I think Epcot I think this is a good thing for Epcot. And I'm excited to see it one day when we go back to the parks. And I'm not sort of one, it was a fit here. I don't care. It's there. Make it fit. I trust the Imagineers and the storytellers to help make it fit. I think this is a great thing. I think it's wonderful to finally get those walls down, be able to go through Journey of Water. What do you say? October 16th?
Yeah.
That's right around the corner. That's a little bit over a month from today.
That's about when we thought it was going to open anyway, because it just started doing press release.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So Journey of Water with Moana. Good. Yeah, good news. Good.
Okay. So this isn't necessarily a definitive news, but we got this cute little clip of the audio animatronics from Tiana's Bayou Adventure.
So I'm watching this little, that looks like a, what is that, Louie?
Louie.
Okay.
Super cool.
I see.
It doesn't reveal too much, but like Animal Kingdom, any announcement about this attraction is a good announcement.
I know that
I'm very excited.
I know there are fantastic animatronics being used around the world at Disney parks, especially in some of the Asian parks. The animatronics are fantastic. And I'm sitting here thinking, if they start bringing these new versions of animatronics into the domestic parks here, I think that's a big win. And I think if they're going to use Tiana's Bayou Adventure to bring some of these more smoother, more up-to-date animatronic technology in, I'm all for it. Louie's a great character. It's a very fun film. I'm looking forward to all that. So, I'll call that news.
Yeah.
So far, a lot of good news.
Yeah. Okay. So I trust that those are going to be good. Okay. So now I'm on the Disney Parks Instagram, and okay. So this is not an American park. It's for Hong Kong Disneyland, but the caption says, quote, "Join us for a summer snow day after dark. Nighttime at World of Frozen in Hong Kong Disneyland is a dream come true." So I think a nighttime event is coming to the Frozen land that they put in Hong Kong.
Okay. And
Yes.
that's all it is. Just and there's no like details or anything.
No, there's no details. That's all. That's the whole announcement. But I'm okay with that.
Listen, I don't begrudge what the other parks get around the world. Just because I can't go there doesn't mean I should hate on them. So
Well,
fantastic.
I will, so.
Fantastic. But I think that's snooze. I mean, okay, a nighttime show, a thing. Okay. I'm not really excited about that. So snooze.
This next one's going to be snooze, I think, too. Hatbox Ghost is coming to the Haunted Mansion in Walt Disney World in late November.
All right.
They also put up a picture of him on the D23 Instagram. Let me find it. It's actually kind of cool looking. Here it is.
Oh, okay. I see. It's kind of like the skeleton of it.
Yeah,
right?
he's
sort
a
of
little bit
before
more
he's-
realistic looking than the other animatronics in the Haunted
But I don't think that
Mansion.
was the finished product. I think that was just like
that's not the No, definitely not. That's just the skin. But
Right.
he's coming in late November. That's
Late
the whole
November.
announcement.
Listen, I know a lot of people complaining because of the story of the Haunted Mansion. Essentially, the way the story goes, that it's not until the ghosts are summoned that the guests are supposed to actually see the ghost. And I think the rumor is where they're thinking about placing the Hatbox Ghost is before the ghosts are summoned, the spirits are summoned. And so if you see it before the spirits are summoned, it's sort of breaking the continuity of the story. Frankly,
I think it's that deep.
most people, the vast majority of people who ride the Haunted Mansion ride don't
They don't
know
pick up
that
that detail.
They don't pick up on those details. It's only, I would say, mostly your hardcore Disney people paying attention to that. So I think if you're doing something, I think the Hatbox Ghost effect is really cool. I don't think it has to be exclusive to California.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to see it. So news, we knew it was coming. I'm going to call it snooze because we knew it was coming. All they did was give us a release date at the end of November. So
I think they should put the Hatbox Ghost in the stretching room. I think that'd be really silly. Just right there.
Yeah, wow.
Smack in the middle. And he just anyway. Okay, this next one I am super excited about. Like, I saved the post. I liked it. I put it up on my close friend story on my personal Instagram. I'm so excited about this one. So the long-awaited empty space in Avengers Campus is going to be filled. Fans are getting a peek at the new world-jumping ride vehicle coming to Avengers Campus to help transport superheroes into the multiverse. So that's it. That's the whole
Avengers
announcement.
Campus where? In California?
In California. This is what it looks like.
So it's literally just a concept art of a vehicle.
That's it. That's all it is.
Okay. I'm going to call this snooze because I knew they announced that they were going to do this big e-ticket attraction in California based on King Thanos. I guess what I'm hearing is they didn't mention anything about the ride itself.
No.
Just some artist rendition of a potential ride vehicle.
Well,
correct?
I think they're also like, if they're doing the ride about King Thanos, fans of the films don't know who that is yet.
I would say if they're not, there's been nothing in a year mentioned at all about that concept. I would not be shocked if they have moved away from that idea after doing some research to find out that that's not really an exciting storyline at this point.
Right.
And it looks like from the look of that art, those vehicles remind me immediately of the Guardian of the Galaxy's Cosmic Rewind vehicles. They look similar enough. And if you,
they do. That's
the way
what I
you
was
describe
thinking.
this sort of universe jumping, I can definitely see
them
using the
putting in,
technology that they used for Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind and using it for an e-ticket in California with a different story and different sort of track layout or something like that.
No, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like when I read world jumping transport superheroes into the multiverse, I heard Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be their version of Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind.
And I'm okay with that, right? Like that ride is fantastic, and I think it deserves to be in both.
But I will
parks.
call that snooze because I just think that doesn't move the needle based on what they said last year. It seems like they're still trying to figure out what the ride will be, and they're probably years away from that project being completed. So I don't think it's coming anytime soon.
I was really excited about it though.
Right.
Okay, so moving on. Jumping to Magic Kingdom in Walt Disney World, a new Pirates of the Caribbean themed lounge is coming to Adventureland at Magic Kingdom Park. It will be the first of its kind experience extending the story of the Pirates of the Caribbean.
So I wonder if they're going to take part of that seating area when you come off the ride. You know how there's I think they're connected to the gift shop when you get off the Pirates ride. A lounge. I mean, it sounds like they're going to be serving adult beverages and stuff, which I don't have a problem with. I'm an adult. we don't really go to the parks for that. But a Pirates of the Caribbean themed lounge, I'd be curious to know how much of the movies they lean into and how much of sort of the regular pirate story they lean into. I just watched the video and it looks like they're trying to run like Jack Sparrow.
Yeah, they're doing the Jack Sparrow run through the land, like where the ride is.
I think it's snooze. I'm not all that excited about it, but part of what it is, depending on where they put this thing. Remember, Tiana's Bayou Adventure is not going to be very far away from there, and we always thought that maybe they were going to use part of an area to connect the two worlds. Frontierland and Adventureland, make it sort of I don't know. I
think they're going to split Pecos Bill in half. And half of Pecos Bill is going to become Tiana's Place, and the other half, like the part that faces out towards what is formerly Splash Mountain, and the part that faces in closer to where Pirates is will become this lounge.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
And Pecos Bill is a massive space.
Yeah, and it's used a lot.
So and you're telling me that they're really going to dedicate all of that space to one restaurant?
No. I think
I doubt it.
I doubt it because they need the capacity for it.
And they need.
I'm all for it. Look, put a pirate themed lounge in there. Okay, whatever. It's snooze for me, but it's not going to make me want to go to Adventureland any more than I already do.
I think it's going to give Jack a place to land. I think what they're saying without saying here is they're bringing in more pirates into the park. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if this meant Captain Red was going to make her way into the park at this lounge. And
now, if it was a Pirates themed lounge similar to what they did with Oga's for the Galaxy's Edge, where it's very immersive.
I think that's what
that would be kind of cool. If it's an Oga's type lounge that you'd have to get a reservation for and make it a big deal, then that I can get a little bit more excited for. But just a regular place to just hang out,
I think that's what it is. It says it's first of its kind, extending the story. So I think it's kind of like, I think it's going to be what Oga's is with the heart of this Galactic Star Cruiser, where it has its own plot line and it's going to expand that story.
You know what'd be funny is in the movies, Jack Sparrow's always upset because they're always out of rum.
They never have rum.
I wonder if every drink there, they just can't serve drinks that include rum because they're always out of rum.
That would be really fun.
But that would be dumb because rum is important for pirate storyline. All right, what's the next story? Go.
This next one's going to make you really sad, potentially.
Okay.
Staying in Magic Kingdom, staying in that area, the Country Bear Jamboree is getting new songs and a new act reinterpreting favorite Disney songs in different genres of country music. So goodbye, original Country Bears.
I'm for this.
Okay.
I think if they're going to keep the Country Bear Jamboree as an attraction, they have to update it because I think the animatronics were falling apart.
Yeah.
And so if they're redoing them, great. 2, the music is cringy.
Well, it's just becoming very out of date.
It's outdated and the lyrics can be cringy and the story can be a little cringy given the modern take on certain things, which I'm fine with. But if they want to, I think if you're going to keep that thing there and not replace it, then you have to update it. And it is overdue for a big refresh. So
I'm agree.
All for this. I would be curious to see that new show. I am not all that curious to see the same show I've been seeing over and over again.
Right. No, and I think this will bring life back to the Country Bears.
Right.
The way that they've been desperately searching for.
I'll call that news. I think that's good.
It's definitely, although the song is outdated and a little bit inappropriate, it is a little bit sad because there is a huge cult following of people who just love the Country Bears and know all the words to the song and it is time and I am excited to see new life brought back into the Country Bears because I don't want them to get rid of the Country Bears. I just want them to update it, right? Good. And that's what they're doing. Yep. Okay, this next one is definitely going to make you sad, but it is exciting. Jumping over to Epcot, Test Track will be reimagined. Imagineers, along with teams from Chevrolet, are looking back to the original World of Motion for inspiration, bringing that spirit of optimism to the next iteration of the attraction. So they're changing it.
So is this, but no details, just in there looking at this?
No details, but they are doing it. The Test Track will be reimagined. We don't know what we're doing yet.
Okay. It doesn't really make me sad because the ride experience will be the same, except what you do will,
on the inside.
The pre-show will change. The story inside the ride will change, but the actual ride experience in the cars probably won't change all that much. So I think this is again, I'm all for progress. I think it started off as World of Motion, which I really, really liked World of Motion. And then it changed to this the current test track ride, which is perfectly fine. I don't have a problem with it. But if they want to go back to, hey, let's take a look at this again. Maybe there is a different story we can tell in there that is better for what we want to accomplish in this area. I'm all for it. So I'm not worried about reimagining what Test Track could be, because I think it's a very popular attraction. I enjoy it. And so I'm all for it. Am I sad? Not particularly. I'll call this news. I think it's something unexpected, so I'll call it news.
Okay, yeah, cool. So it was definitely unexpected for me, but there was a lack of Spaceship Earth redoing announcement, but there is that whole Epcot presentation coming at the later today. So maybe there will be something about that then.
Yeah, maybe we'll watch that live feed when it comes through. So,
okay, so there are a few other pieces of news that have dropped that aren't parks related, and I'm going to just read them out to you. We don't have to talk about them too much.
Right.
Before I get back to that big piece of news at the end that I really am excited to share.
All right, go for it.
Okay, so Disney 100, the exhibition, opens November 18th in Chicago. I think that's all it is. I think it's just an exhibition with artifacts and drawings and whatever, celebrating the 100 years. It's opening in Chicago in about 2 months. Okay, so the D23 Royal Anniversary Ball will be taking place on October 15th in Walt Disney World. Tickets go on sale Tuesday. There's not a whole lot else to say about that.
All right.
The dates for D23, the Ultimate Fan Event for next year in Anaheim, were dropped, and it is August 9th through 11th, 2024.
Like right at the beginning of the school year.
The worst time.
Because you and I had talked about maybe trying to go to one of these events, and I don't think there would be a worse time
for us
it to
go.
happen than
I know, because last year it was in like October, and like we could make it work, and
Right.
But that's that. And then I think there was one more. Hang on. Oh yeah, and then just some announcement about the Disney Wish, but we already know about that or the Adventure, not the Disney Wish.
Is that
It's the new ship. Yeah, the new ship, the Adventure.
Right.
Okay. So the last piece of information that was released today, this morning, during the Just Tomorrow presentation is the most exciting piece of news, and it is taking place in Epcot. The new nighttime spectacular called Luminous, the Symphony of Us will debut on December 5th, featuring fireworks, fountains, lasers, lighting effects, and music.
I love the Epcot nighttime shows.
Me too.
Really love the one that just went away with the barges in the front. What was it called? I can't remember the name of it anymore.
Harmonious. I love Harmonious.
We really enjoyed that show. And they've had this, I can't remember what it's in there now. Is it Epcot Forever? Right. Been playing. So this one's called Luminous.
Luminous, the Symphony of Us.
The Symphony of Us. Listen, I'm excited for it. I want to see it. I think it's great. I think they announced that. I love the nighttime shows are great. I think the one at Epcot is always my favorite. The one at Epcot I enjoy better than the fireworks at the Magic Kingdom. I'm all for it. I think this is a great announcement. That's new. It was unexpected. I knew that we sort of had the sense that something was coming. Hopefully they won't have to erect giant, unsightly structures in the middle of the lake.
I don't like the barges. I hate how they look during the day, but the trade-off for the show at the end of the night is worth it. Like, the show is so good with the barges.
Well, but the barges are gone, and they didn't find a use for them during the day that was practical and I don't know, pleasant to look at and experience. But Luminous, what is it called? Luminous, a symphony
of us.
A symphony of us.
So I don't know if it's going to be like Disney music or if it's going to be like that harmonious, like blend of Disney music versus not.
Well, one of the things about the Epcot shows is that they're typically sort of a multicultural, multi-themed, multi-genred experience, which, I'm all for it. I think it's great. I'm excited for it. I think this is news. Good stuff there. I'm excited to see what it looks like. I'm sure the vloggers and the bloggers and the influencers, which we apparently are not included in the higher tier of those people because we never get invited to these things. But send us an invitation. We'll be happy to go and shoot video and tell everybody to go see it. But Luminous, a Symphony of Us, it kind of rolls off the tongue.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
I am too. It's good stuff.
Are you glad I saved that for the end?
I am glad you say that to me.
Because I think if I said that in the beginning, you wouldn't have been able to focus on anything else.
Yeah, I think, I had forgotten that Epcot was bringing a new show, right? And so the fact that they reminded us of that is very cool. Now, I know we've been into this show about 35 minutes. We try to keep it around this time, but is there any, I mean, let's think about what was not said. There was essentially nothing that you shared with me that had anything to do with Disney's Hollywood Studios.
Nothing, no.
So nothing about Rock and Roller Coaster maybe being rethemed at some point. Nothing about any kind of new nighttime offerings at Hollywood Studios, which I'm kind of okay with. I think Hollywood Studios has gone through
a lot recently,
but there is room for some stuff over there to be changed, but okay, they didn't have anything about that. Nothing really about Magic. I mean, I know Country Bear and this new pirate theme, but nothing about Tomorrowland, nothing about, of course, Tron just opened, so I'm not expecting a whole lot there. So no big Magic Kingdom news, a lot of Animal Kingdom stuff and some Epcot stuff. I don't think Epcot is going to be going through any significant attraction adding, even though I know that Imagination area is probably ripe for a redo.
Yeah.
And now that they're bringing Figment in as this big meet and greet character,
they might be getting ready to dump some money into it.
Possibly, but it's going to be a while. I think what we're going to see is of these billions of dollars that I think Bob Iger and maybe Josh said something about the billions of dollars they're looking to invest in their parks, especially in Florida. Yeah. Listen, I think Animal Kingdom is the one that really needs some love over in that Dinoland USA area. Certainly needs that. I think Epcot, they need to finish what they're doing. I don't think anything with Spaceship Earth is going to happen anytime soon. I think that they just have to, that's not a necessity. It's something that I think they would want to do, but it is not a pressing need. So I think we're in
the tail. So like, Hollywood Studios went through its sort of redemption redo arc. And I think we're kind of like in the middle of Epcot's arc, on the downside, not the tail end, but like the downside of its redoing. And then I think Animal Kingdom is on its rise.
I think the only thing that I would like to see that I didn't see that you hinted at was I want to hear some definitive news saying we are doing X. And we have begun working to do X. And if it's the Dinoland USA redo, just say it. We are going to retheme this area into whatever you want to call it. And it's going to include this, this, and this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's...
Even if we don't like it, definitive news is better than...
But it's just like last year where there was nothing definitive but these concepts, like nothing mentioned this year at all about this blue sky concept of Beyond Thunder Mountain, where you might get this and you might get that. All of that has been nothing about it ever since then. And I guess my problem is if you're going to introduce that, people are going to remember you said that.
Right.
So either acknowledge that, yeah, we know we said this, but we have some different ideas, or don't say it. Like if you don't have anything really to say, don't say anything, right? Come up with something else that you're definitely doing. And you've had a year to say something definitive. So it sounds like I'm sort of coming down on them harshly. I'm not trying to be harsh, but what are the definitives? A pirate themed lounge, a Country Bear Jamboree redo, a Hatbox Ghost that we already know was coming.
Right. There's nothing about Disneyland in Anaheim.
There was nothing about Disneyland at all.
That was all California Adventure. Nothing about Adventures Campus that was definitive. And then... Well, they showed... All right. I don't remember anything else about Disneyland. Nothing was said about anything in California. Well, but last year they talked about the San Francisco... That's true. San Francisco is about to open. Now. And some of it... But, I mean, and of course, the Figment coming is a definite thing. Okay, thank you for that. The show is coming as a definite thing. Thank you for that. Test Track is definitely being redone. We just don't know what that means. No details. So, I think they know, they're just not releasing that. And I'm okay with that because they said Test Track will be redone. Disney at some point is going to have... Universal is eating it there. Up. And they have been putting in some significant, very real, definitive items. Disney needs to keep up with that. They need to put things out there that show that they are just as serious about investing in things also. And investing in their fans, right? Because I think what makes Universal this very renowned park is that they're listening to what their fans want and they are bringing that into their park actively, right? The Jurassic World, just entire addition to that, the Velocicoaster, the water ride that I don't know the name of, all of that was just very fan started, right? Like they were like, we want this. This would be really cool. And they took that and they ran with it, right?
I don't
see a whole lot of that.
But I do think Disney is
World.
listening because they like the whole
Figment thing.
Sure. Is, but I'm gonna say no. I mean the stuff for Animal Kingdom, like I think people gave them feedback that says, you know, having this Moana and Encanto and whatever area out here, I think they heard Indiana Jones is a popular thing. Indiana Jones came out new, and now not a lot of people went to go see it in the theater, but I mean it is an IP that Florida is not using very much of, except for the stunt show, which has been around for a long time. So I think they do listen. But they're slow to release details.
Yeah. I think they're also juggling a lot of budgeting at the moment. I think Iger has stopped wanting to just throw money at problems. And so they're less quick to make rash decisions. Well, I was surprised at the lack of anything Tomorrowland related for California, because that has been something that people have been saying for literally years.
Right.
Anything in Tomorrowland in California, a redo, new paint, like some sort of new attraction, Tron. Like, why isn't Tron opening in California? Why aren't they working on that? I really don't understand.
I don't want Tron in California. I think what they need to do is decide, well, California is a totally different animal because they can't expand. So to put something there needs to have to take something away, and that's going to be really hard to do. But one thing I would say is last year, remember they brought the big Hulk out, and the Hulk showed up in California.
And where did that go?
Well, he was only there for a limited time and he left. Is Figment going to be limited time? They didn't say limited time, right? He's going to be there for, all right. So there's
I think he's a permanent addition over there because he has that attraction.
I think last year, I don't remember exactly what I think I gave it a C. If I had to give it a grade, like a test grade, I gave it a C. It was very average.
Yeah. I'd give it like
presentation.
a B-.
I think this was slightly better. I think I could go with a B- on this one. You know, I wouldn't, this isn't an A category presentation with stuff. It's not as, I think it's better than last year because there seems to be more definitive items that they're talking about. But I want to walk away going, I can't wait for that. And I haven't, I mean,
yet to feel
you've
that.
shared a lot of good stuff with me. I'm not saying it's bad stuff, but nothing that you've said has made me feel I definitely need to buy a ticket and go see that. And
I feel that way about the Epcot show, but
it's always been, I want to see that. I definitely want to see that someday. But it's not like we don't have a trip planned. We need to plan a trip. When is that opening? Oh, it's opening on that day? Okay, we need to plan a trip for not long after that. Nothing that is being shared is making me do that. I do think that if they do what they are talking about in Animal Kingdom, then I will be more willing to go to Animal Kingdom and stay longer at Animal Kingdom. But it's not making me buy a ticket to go to the parks and travel all the way to Florida to visit Animal Kingdom.
I think arguably, like, everyone hates the walls in Epcot, and I hated the walls in Epcot. They were ugly and they were in the way and they were horrible. But if they put up walls in Animal Kingdom, that would get me so excited. Like, oh, y'all are actually doing something? That is so cool. No way. And like, yeah, I would get tired of the walls after like 2 weeks, but I'd be like, okay, but they're working on something. They're actively doing something behind this wall that we can't see.
Right.
You know, and like that progress. What we're looking for is progress, and we're not getting it, and that's okay. However, I'm very excited about Luminious, whatever.
Luminous?
I think it's Luminous, but the last ones have been ES. So it wouldn't be surprised if they were like came in here with this goofy like pronunciation. Luminious.
Luminious. Well, that would be interesting. All right. Good stuff.
Yes,
Thank
we
you
need
for
to wrap
sharing
up this
that with
episode.
me. Yeah, we need to wrap this up. Thank you for sharing all that with me. It's my first time hearing it. I'm going to try to go back if they've saved the live feed on the YouTube channel. I can maybe rewatch it. I'd like to rewatch it. I am curious to hear what they come out with. If they're doing an Epcot specific thing, I want to be able to chat, figure out my words are leaving me, right? I guess I am peachless also. So yeah, I want to check that out too. But yeah, good stuff. Let's wrap this thing up, get this episode out so our followers can hear our reaction sooner rather than later. All right, Mimi, share with everyone how they can support the show and find us online.
Yeah, so you guys can send us an email, disneyassembled@gmail.com, or you can send us a message on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, all at Disney Assembled. But if you guys want to support the show further, the link to our TeePublic, Patreon, Buy Us a Dole Up, and all that other stuff is on our website, disneyassembled.com. Make sure to go check it out.
Yeah, and if you want to see my live video reaction to Josh Jamar's presentation from the 2022 D23 Expo, go to our YouTube channel where you can subscribe, youtube.com/DisneyAssembled. If you haven't done that already, please join us over there. We've been putting our podcast episodes up on the YouTube. We have other fun stuff there, especially our YouTube shorts. Lots of fun stuff there, separate from our regular content. I think you'll enjoy that very much. And if you haven't done so already, one of the best things you can do to support the show is share it with your friends on your social network. Tell everybody about it at your place of work or school. And if you haven't done so already, we would really, really appreciate your consideration of leaving us a 5-star rating and a nice review. The ratings and reviews, the more we get, the more likely it is that other people can help us create more joy and share that love for all things Disney. All right, Mimi, high five. Excellent job. Thank you very much for listening, guys. We hope this episode brought a smile to your face, some extra joy to your day, and that very special sprinkle of pixie dust to your week. Thank you for listening, and until next time, see you real soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, please collect your belongings, watch your head and step, and take small children by the hand.